Nice. Hi. Call in. Late. You're right, I'm late. Jeez. New executive order someone sent me to look at in the Discord. About DEI. My glasses are nice and foggy. Who needs to see anyway, bro? Let me message everyone that wanted to call yesterday. I'll send a text to them because I'm really cool. We be texting pals, guys. Okay, wait. So this executive order on restoring equality of opportunity and meritocracy. I love it when Trump just signs executive orders as if he's actually doing something. He signed one on manufacturing and he's like, bro, manufacturing is healed. What the hell just happened? Why is this up? I don't want to do that. Okay. I want manufacturing to increase in America. Here's my executive order to make it increase. I have no plans for it, but I said I want it, so it's going to happen. A bedrock principle of the U.S. is that all citizens are treated equally under the law. This is definitely going to be really good. For sure. This principle guarantees equality of opportunity, not equal outcomes. It promises... It's crazy, too, because I don't know any Democrats that propose, like, equality of outcome, ever. Like, you want outcomes to be more adjusted to how successful someone is, or how hard they work if you want a meritocracy. But equality of outcome? No one talks about making outcomes 100% equal. If anything, Trump promises more of that communist stuff than Democrats do. And encouraging meritocracy and a colorblind society. Colorblind, not race or sex-based favoritism. Adherences, blah, 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 blah. Okay, where's the actual thing at? Disparate impact liability, which holds a near insurmountable presumption of unlawful discrimination exists where there are differences in outcomes and in certain circumstances. Disparate impact liability all but requires individuals and businesses to consider race and engage in racial balancing to avoid potentially crippling legal liability. Okay. Does disparate... This also works on socioeconomic status, by the way. So if you're a poor kid, or if you're from a poor background, or working class background, or anyone that's not rich, these policies help you get more opportunities that are usually given to rich kids who have connections. So they focus on race, of course, to make people mad about race, because everyone's mad about race issues all the time. But they're pulling back opportunities for working class people too when they do this. Hindered businesses from making hiring and other employment decisions based on merit and skill. Yeah, dude, sure thing. That surely happened. It's funny too, because some of our biggest companies in America, our most productive companies, are keeping DEI. They're keeping DEI. They voted to keep it. So the idea that DEI correlates with not being successful is the opposite of the truth. Revoking certain protections. Okay, wait. I'm using AI. Oh yeah, that guy called again. Nice. The most entertaining streams are about executive orders.
Hello?
Howdy, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
Doing all right. How about you, sir?
Not bad, not bad. How can I help?
I don't know. Is there anything you want to chat about right now? Anything on your mind?
Who am I speaking with?
This is the YouTube dude.
Oh, thanks for your call back, man. Yeah, I left a
I
message
should have said
yesterday.
I should have said
Oh
Pizza Hut
yeah, I
or
was like, dude,
Domino's.
I got a random Google. Yeah, I just I scrolled past your page. I thought it was
This is
pretty
Pizza Hut, bro.
interesting.
Come pick up your damn pizza.
Well,
Jesus.
yeah, exactly. Am I on YouTube right now?
Yeah, yeah, you're on here.
Oh, okay, cool. So what's the
Yeah, yeah.
topic?
I don't know. You called last night near the end of my stream. I had to get off, so I just messaged you and I sent you a phone call too, or I called you to see if you wanted to chat about politics. It's about America, you
Sure,
know.
yeah, yeah. I do enjoy talking about politics.
Yeah, whatever topic you want to talk about. You know, I'm a premium liberal, the best liberal. Some say. So whatever you have, you know.
Okay, so the best liberal, some said. He's
Yeah,
not a
exactly.
Democrat. He's a lib. He's a libtard. I'm a conservative,
You practice
constitutionalist.
that voice, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. So I'm a nationalist, constitutionalist. Um, yeah, Trump supporter, MAGA all the way. Voted for him every time I could. So yeah.
Um, Yeah, I'm pretty anti-nationalism in general. I think
Okay.
nationalism is a thing that both Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin shared. So authoritarian, communist, and also fascist, left-wing, right-wing authoritarianism, they're usually nationalist, like Mother Russia, or I forget what Hitler
Absolutely.
called Germany. But yeah, authoritarians are usually nationalist, and vice versa. So I don't like nationalism. I like patriotism, but not nationalism.
Yeah, I like patriotism to an extent. Like, we shouldn't be in a cult, but nationalism. So it depends how we look at it. So I like America first, right? That doesn't mean like America only. I think it's extremely important to have soft power throughout the world and to help out and do trade deals and work with all the countries through the world. I just don't think that. Again, America first. I think we should put our interests first. That's what I mean by nationalism. I don't mean like because I know it a lot of times it's like, oh, you're an isolationist. I don't think that's a good thing either.
Yeah, the
I
issue
think
with
that we.
America First is that that's
Mhm.
already a given. If you're in America and you care about America and you're doing policies that are pro people in America, that's already a given. Are you familiar like what group like started America First in the 20s?
Could it be like the Tea Party?
It was the KKK. They were nationalists. They were Christian nationalists. The KKK were. That's one reason I'm not
Okay.
fond of Christian nationalism, or white nationalism. And Christian nationalism, white nationalism in America are kind of close. And I'm not saying that everyone that says, America first believes in that, but what they meant by that, and it's one reason they're very anti-Catholic, but they wanted to keep America, when they said America first, because it's already a given, we're all America, we want America to do good. But they meant, or make America great again. They saw it as a dog whistle to return it to their cultural foundation. Like down south, the KKK really did a lot of organizing to ban books, to ban contraception, to ban teaching about sexual health, because they said it like obviously corrupted the youth and everything. They wanted to ban other languages other than English. Their main driver was to be anti-immigrant explicitly. They wanted only English, so it was harder to immigrate to America. So you couldn't speak other languages. Specifically targeted at a lot of Catholics that moved in, and they hated Catholics as well. Largely because Catholics were very pro-immigrant and pro the work side of like Christianity. So I'm usually just like
What time
very
period are we
hesitant of that.
talking about?
So this is like 1920s. We had a huge influx of immigrants, and then like 1920s, 30s, and 40s and 50s, we had the America First movement, which was first the KKK did say that. Then we had the America First like party, which were nationalists. They were a little bit less radical, obviously. KKK were terrorists, so it's not to that extreme. Um,
Now, is
yeah,
Black Lives Matter a terrorist organization?
no, if someone did, no.
Really? They didn't commit violent acts to put forward a ideology, political ideology.
No,
Um,
I don't know what you mean by Black Lives Matter, because I have people that are just like suburban moms that say Black Lives Matter.
yeah, I
I
mean
don't know any suburban moms that say America
the
first.
organization that was structured and had funding and they were
The
interconnected
organization
and
did
had.
not matter at all. Black Lives Matter, the organization was corrupt. It was a small organization that just like stole donations from people. But Black Lives Matter, in terms of the movement, hell no. And even that
Oh, like
organization would not be classified as
Matter,
terrorists.
Black Lives Matter, the statement, right, is like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. I think that's, like you were saying, it's obvious, like United States first. To me, that's like obvious. But again, the organization is what I was against because, again, in your words, it was corrupt. But the whole nationalist thing, I feel like in today's world, it's always like, oh, Stalin and Hitler were nationalists, but like,
Hmm.
again, they were isolationists, nationalists, fundamentalists, extremists. And I think that at least what I represent, I could speak for myself. I'm not here to hold water for any particular group. I could speak to my own beliefs. And as far as like, hey, I'm an American first nationalist, what I mean is, heck yes, let's get people from other cultures and religions as long as they're a net positive for the United States, meaning like, hey, we're in need of this. So these people have this, let's bring them in. I also do think that people from repugnant cultures or cultures that don't align with ours, for instance, if we took like, I don't know, if there was like IRA members in Ireland, terrorists, and they had like bricklaying skills and we needed bricklayers, I think we should also look into like, hey, okay, they're bricklayers, but they're Irish Republican, they're terrorists. So I think that um, today's Republican Party and conservatives, I don't think they're Hitler-esque. Of course, on either ends, there are extremists on either ends, but like blue collar, just working liberals and Republicans, I don't think they support Hitler-esque policies in today's world.
I'm not
At least
saying
not
I'm
the
commenting
people
on
I talk
nationalism
to.
in general. So like nationalism would be a superiority complex, and like Hitler was not isolationist in terms of he would not expand the nation of Germany. He was anti-trade and anti-globalism and anti-multiculturalism, which J.D. Vance is very anti-multiculturalism and very anti-globalism. He talks about it all the time. But Hitler also
Multiculturalism is what? Could you define that in the terms that you're speaking
basically,
of?
they think immigration is the number one issue at all times. They think that cultures should not mix. Elon Musk says this a lot, that cultures should not mix because then you lose your national identity. So nationalism and race and whatever you identify as and Christian nationalism would say in America that the Protestant ethic and Christian nationalism in America right now is definitely tied to what the KKK did believe. Not in terms of how radical it is, and you could argue that like KKK were the actual terrorists of it, that were like militant, and we had to actually do like a military operation to get rid of them under I'm pretty sure like President Grant. But like the underlying beliefs that they are superior
Ulysses S.
and everything they
Grant, the
do.
Republican, right? Because KKK was founded by Southern Democrats after the Civil War was
Yeah,
ended.
and then once Democrats took the side of the civil rights movement, all the KKK switched to Republican because Republicans were anti-civil rights after that.
The Great Switch it's a myth. It's a myth. The South didn't go majority Republican till after the Civil Rights Movement, and that's not an
No,
opinion.
but the
That's a fact.
KKK left Democrats after Democrats were pro-civil rights, right? Because that would have made sense because they were anti-civil rights,
Democrats
obviously.
Democrats weren't pro civil rights. The Republicans were the ones that voted for the civil rights movement.
Throughout the
Every
60s, 70s, and
Republican.
80s, okay, throughout the actual divergence, the KKK switched to, and skinheads switched to being Republicans after being Democrats because the party switched.
Yeah,
That's very,
it's
yeah.
kind of like saying you like the Mets and a KKK guy wears a Mets hat, so now all Mets players are Nazis. It's like, so they had repugnant beliefs and institutions, and they voted for. But again, they're a fringe extremist, and they've literally, there's like no white supremacists left, and it's kind of like, oh, they're the white supremacy is the most dangerous thing in the country. I'm
It's more
pretty sure.
complicated now. It's much more complicated. So you could be a supremacist, but it doesn't need to be a long race. So like JD Vance is definitely a supremacist, but I don't think he's a white supremacist. I think he's an elitist and a technocrat, not a technocrat, a technologist or something like technocracy. Um, He believes there are peasants in society and leaders, and the leaders should control society. He's anti-democracy and anti constitution and everything, just like his funder
Where
Peter
was
Thiel is.
where was that belief? Like, where does that belief of his come out?
Well, look up Peter Thiel. Okay, Peter Thiel funded
I know
JD
Peter.
Vance's
I
entire
know Peter too.
career, and Peter Thiel is against
Yeah.
republics, against constitutions. He's against democracy in general. He's done many interviews about this. He thinks the
Isn't
world
he
should be corporate
BlackRock?
states. He has the AI company they use for military targeting and facial recognition, and he's signing contracts with the U.S. government right now to track us. So that's really fun. But yeah, JD Vance, there's a reason that we speak. Our government right now speaks very nicely about Russia and Hungary and El Salvador. Like JD Vance will not shut up about those countries, but he also hates Europe. He hates Europe. He hates Canada, but he loves El Salvador and Hungary and Russia.
Well, the thing about
Yeah.
them is they've kind of come to they're having their own cultural revolution where Europe, in my opinion, has failed in many ways, culturally, with the mass immigration they're accepting, and they are kind of changing the foundation of their culture. And financially, I think there's a lot of things wrong with Europe and Canada and Australia, and I would say the anti-freedom of speech. They do not have freedom of speech, and they've actually not only never had it, they're making it worse for people that speak out. So people are arrested for jokes, and these are first world countries.
In America right now, if you're on a green card, they jail you for Palestinian, like being pro-Palestine, saying anything anti-Israel. We have a facial recognition technology on our on websites right now tracking anyone who's anti-Israel. So and the U.S. government is aligning with Israel on that position and using the police state to crack down on people for having thought that they've used un-American, saying that they're sympathetic with terrorists. You might as well be a terrorist. They can't legally do it yet, but they've defied the law a lot. But just with Europe, really quick, Europeans live on average like 6 or 7 years longer than Americans. They're much happier than we are. The homicide rate in Europe is still 1/3 of what ours is. Their violent crime rate is like 1/5 of what ours is. Europe is a thriving society compared to America. Even with their cultural challenges, they have done way better than America has done. And the fact that JD Vance wants to become El Salvador and Russia and Hungary and move away from the general population of Europe is really stupid. It's insanely stupid. It's because he's an authoritarian. He does not like democracies. Because those countries have.
Well,
Okay, by the way, how the hell does JD Vance get to give all this credit and all this love to Hungary and El Salvador, dictatorships and illiberal democracies where they're allowed to do whatever the hell they want, cracking down on people? Dictatorships or close to dictatorships. How can he give so much praise to those countries, never mentioning free speech once? Literal dictatorships. Meanwhile, when he talks about Europe, that is tyranny. Why does JD Vance skirt over Hungary and El Salvador when he does that? He gives them a bunch of credit.
I mean, like, I don't, I'm not here to defend JD Vance. Like I said, I'm here to just speak about what I believe, but I think that Hungary has some great things going for them, and they have some terrible things going for them. I think Europe has some great things going for them and some terrible things going for them.
Everything about Europe is better than
Uh,
the U.S. right now. Every single metric, every single quality of life, every happiness metric, like they are doing better than us. So if it's going terrible for them, then we are doing a lot worse, and we're going in the wrong direction right now. And
well,
companies are.
they're financially not doing as good, and also you have to understand they have a lot of comforts because of what the United States offers through NATO funding and military funding and guarantees and things of that
Yeah, and
nature.
we have a lot
So
of comfort from alliances with them as well, and Canada and Mexico and all the countries we've screwed over. So we have a lot of comfortability we're going to lose if we cut from them as well. I don't think Americans
we
understand that
screwed
part.
over Canada and Mexico. How, in the trade
We have
war thing
forced.
that's
Okay,
going
we have
on?
been the most powerful country in the world since the end of World War II. Okay, we could
Yeah,
easily. We
since
have
the New
shifted the
World
entire
Order,
world to
right?
benefit us. There's a reason we have been the richest country of all time. We have dominated the world. We have made the world we wanted to see. Okay, we have pushed countries into directions to fit our needs. That's why Americans are able to consume so much, and we have so much, cheap products coming to us, and we have such a robust military. We're able to control the flow of everything globally, or we have been able to before rising China.
Yeah, through
But
like
yeah.
the CIA and funding coups
Okay, I
across
don't
the world, and
even past that. The idea that we're getting screwed over by these small countries is that shows how nationalism. Another reason I think nationalism is stupid because it's unable to think. It's why I'm against socialism too and communism because I think nationalism, socialism, communism are all radical ideologies that can't work.
yeah, but
And they're violent.
socialism, like, okay, we're socialists is a bad idea, but having some social safety nets is a good idea.
Oh, I mean
Being
like socialist,
completely
socialist. I mean
isolationist,
social safetyness is like a
Isolation, like,
social democracy. That's not socialism, but the words don't matter. Americans think
but
socialism is like I don't even know.
well, I'm just saying, like being nationalist, right? Being full-bore nationalist is stupid, but having some nationalist ideas while still participating in trade, while still, having soft power across the world is good. Going full-bore nationalism is stupid. So I think a balance of all. Now, one thing that's interesting to me is it of your opinion that, like, I'm going to call it mass immigration, and just definitionally just a large group of people from all over the world coming across our border legally or illegally. Do you think that's a net benefit, like what happened under the Biden administration? So when you saw under Trump, the immigration rate kind of, low, not as low it is now, and then Biden got in office and he undid a lot of the illegal, a lot of the immigration laws, so people started flooding into this country. Do you think that was a benefit for America? And if so, can I know why? Bless
One
you.
of the big issues with
Sorry, I'm
like
burping my baby right now.
no worries. One of the big issues with the numbers is that the immigration surge came as a result of COVID and other economies recovering very slowly. So people coming here for opportunity. We needed the
That's
workers. We had a
why
very tight labor
that's
market.
why they were geared to come here,
Yeah,
or was
yeah.
it
That's why so many people came here because the entire global economy crashed. So the very
that
small weak
might be the
countries.
why they the
But that's why we
I
had the big
disagree. I
surge from
think,
COVID because we would have saw a big surge in other administrations as well. But this was historic because of the backlog because immigration cut to zero
well,
for like 6 months.
he
So
undid all of Trump's policies, including the Remain in Mexico policy, and he also made it the Remain in Mexico policy. How many listeners are there right now?
like 200.
Is there anybody commenting? How am I doing?
Well, I mean, the YouTube Shorts chat is literally just a bunch of brain dead idiots, so I don't even look at it. But YouTube Shorts is a
Oh, okay.
wasteland. So I mean, they're gonna agree with you though. I assume
They're
I don't look
going
at it
to
anymore.
agree? I thought you would have people on both sides. You just have like right-wing people coming to
Oh
like
no,
hear what you
okay.
have to say.
People that support my channel and watch it more than just like now will agree with me, obviously. But any new viewers, like I'd say like 2 out of 10 people agree with me. The rest are gonna be like YouTube Shorts people. No, okay. When I say the big influx, okay, so Biden, he did not break any laws. Okay, so like Remain in Mexico did not solve the issue with immigration in America. Okay,
But
that was an
it made
executive
it so
order.
that we could take them. So if you come to a port of entry and you say, "Hey, I want to seek asylum," or you came across illegally, we said, "Well, you have to remain in Mexico while we wait for the court date that says that." When he got rid of that, they said, "Okay, come in here," and
It
the
depends
courts
what
are.
you view as success, though, because we have like 2,000 cases of rape, murder, and other forms of assault from kidnappings, rape, extortions from gangs in Mexico, because they would just prey on people that we made stay in Mexico. So it
Yes,
depends if you think like
the coyotes.
yeah,
It's
but
a
it depends
cartel
if you're
business.
okay with putting kids into sex trafficking rings because we don't have a fixed immigration system. That could be your opinion, but I would rather a president who can pass an actual bill and legislation to fix our immigration system to change our capacity to handle claims, which Trump got that border bill denied. And right now, Trump could get a border bill passed if he wanted to expand immigration courts. He's not doing it, so he's doing a bunch of illegal shit. But just to stay on Biden for a second, Biden followed the laws. He did follow the laws. We did not have the capacity. He should have pushed harder earlier to get a border bill passed. He waited too long.
Well,
He
he
sleptwalked
was
through
dead.
it.
I mean, he is
Well, I
Alzheimer's or
don't. The president,
dementia.
okay, Donald Trump right now is also dead. So the administrations matter. The people they put in the administrations and who surrounds them matters more. So I vote for the administrations versus the actual politician because I think worshiping politicians is bad anyway. Because like Trump barely knows where he is. He thinks egg prices went down 94%. He's been saying that for the past like 10 days. So it's like he doesn't know where he is either. They hand him an executive order. He's like, "What is this executive order?" It's like, "This is the one that's gonna give everyone unicorns." He's like, "Well, this is so cool." It's like he has no idea what's happening. But yeah, the Biden issue was not pushing hard enough to expand capacity earlier. He did get I think it was like a $2 billion investment from Mexico in 2022, which was a 2-year plan to expand the ability for us to have claims happen in other countries. Other safe countries. I forget the actual term for them.
Trump's cleaned up the border. The border's the safest it's been ever. I mean, there are
Okay, but
less.
okay, listen to these points though, really quick. Biden's policy, he already had, in Biden's last 6 months, the border crossings went down an extremely low amount. It went down to an extremely low amount.
Not
The final 6 months.
compared to where it was in the beginning of his
Yeah,
presidency,
but
but
he
they
was
were
okay.
still much
Biden, the same
higher.
thing with inflation, though. Biden was dealing with a huge. I wish Trump won in 2020 because our economy would have crashed back then. It's crashing now in good times, so it definitely would have crashed in bad times. But I wish Trump was president, so he would have had to deal with all this shit. Because now Biden gets blamed for just being handed a bunch of shit and being dead the whole time and not
Well, he
backing down.
literally, day one, he undid dozens of border bills that literally, so that it's not like,
What
oh,
border bills
COVID
did he
and all this
undo?
stuff.
You know what policies
It,
did Biden undo?
like I said, the Remain in Mexico
That's
policy
not
is
a bill
probably the
though.
biggest.
That's a temporary executive order. That's not meant to be a
So
long-term policy.
and that literally when he undid, so I have a baby in my hands. I cannot Google the executive orders or whatever he did. But day one, I know that I've looked it up before. I don't know the names at the top of my head. He undid dozens of them, and the rate of illegal immigration, well, it became, just immigration because of the laws. It literally took a sharp angle up immediately. So it's not like we went from 10,000 a month to 12,000 a month. We started getting
It
tens of
spiked.
millions.
Okay, if you look at the actual graph, it spiked before Trump left. The number spiked before Trump left, and Trump had more border crossings than Obama did. But okay, here's one big thing that
Yeah, he was.
this is
Obama was known
here's
as
one
the
big thing.
deporter
Here's
in
one big
chief.
thing I ask everyone about the immigration wave. If we had 20 million illegal immigrants come over under Biden, and they were, a big portion of them were gang members and violent criminals, why did the crime rate decrease in America from 2020 to 2024 and 2025? And why did we have no hotspots in America where crime really increased? To the point where the only cases people bring up about immigrant crime is the same two cases of like Lake and Riley and like one other person. But there's no place in America where we saw a huge increase in crime to identify like a huge issue with mass immigration killing our economy or killing our neighborhoods or whatever. Our crime rate actually decreased, and we have a lot of studies on immigrant crime and illegal immigrants. Legal immigrants, they commit crime at a lower rate than naturally born American citizens. And we can talk about the off events where an immigrant commits a crime that is terrible, obviously. But that being weaponized is even more terrible in my opinion, because I could pull Bible groups, church groups down south where kids are assaulted on the daily and killed and raped. And
Well,
that's not. I'm not going to say all
well,
Christians are that way. It
crime
just
crime rate's one thing, but you also have to look at not only crime rate, you have to look at the financial impact on our country, which was negative. We were bringing
immigrants
tens of
helped. No, immigrants helped our economy in this period. We had a tight labor market. It literally helped. It helped reduce
100%
our.
false.
It helped our economy.
Illegal immigration has cost us hundreds of billions, and it has brought in less than half of that. You could Google that right now. Anybody watching this can Google cost of immigration versus tax dollars brought in and all that. It is a detriment on the economy. That's not an opinion. That's not a conservative talking point. That is a fact that if you look up government sources
I
right
have the
now,
facts right here. Okay, the Congressional Budget Office said the 2023 surge in immigration increased U.S. GDP by 2.5% within the next 10 years due to the source of workers that we got
you
added to
also
our
have to
country
look
because
at
of
the
our low birth
cost of
rates.
illegal immigration, which is in
That
the
is
tens
with it.
and hundreds of
That's
billions
added
of
in there. We
dollars.
know immigrants add to the economy. We know they add to the economy already. This is very settled economic like data.
They
Even if they
are
do
a
cost money.
detriment. They're a detriment. I would Google it if I wasn't holding my baby right now, and I'm not using that as an excuse. They are a financial burden on the economy. It costs way more money, in the billions more, to have illegal immigrants in our country than we take in. And especially the fact that we were giving them hotels, cell phones, food, we were giving them visas and drivers. We're funding. So I live in New York. Where are you from?
I'm from Northeast too, more rural.
No, oh, okay, Maryland or something. So, from New York, and I work security in a hotel, and the hotel was taking in, they call them migrants, immigrants, right? Because we're allowing them to come here. So they're coming up from New York City. I live a little outside of New York City. And they were given rooms. Some of them were there for 12, 18 months. They're given rooms, food, snacks. They were given Uber. They were given cell phones, health
But you're
care. So
saying
we had
more
health.
like But you're saying more emotional things where it's like we're rather getting like
It's
services to go through the legal process. But I'm talking
it's
about the
not
overall impact.
emotional.
I'm talking about the
There
overall
were
impact of
40
immigrants on the
people that
economy.
lived in this. There were 40 people that lived in this small motel. Most of them way longer than 6 months, and they were given Uber. They were given health care, state-funded health care, Medicaid. They were given every expense they needed.
I'm
And
sorry, but if you want to know the facts about this, we can go through the facts. But if you want to just give that like one example of people receiving things, that's not going to kill that's probably the least expensive part of immigration. I'm talking about all the construction workers, all the farmers, all the people working in restaurants, all the people working door, like all these things
the
tie our
cost
economy
of
together.
illegal immigration it outweighs that. So
I
what
have
they do
listen. I
bring to
have
the
studies from the
table.
Cato Institute. I have studies from the Manhattan Institute. I have studies from the Congressional Budget Office that say you're wrong. So if you want to research this later and call back, you can. But immigrants have always been a gain to the economy. Like ever since the Irish and Chinese and everyone worked on our railroads to the coal mines, like immigrants have always helped the U.S. economy because they do the jobs no
Well,
one else
we
wants
were
to
in
do.
a time during those times where we were building our country. We're now an established
We
country
need to
with
build now. No,
over.
China's killing us because of this. We need the bodies. That's why our birth rate's an issue because we need people to be able to do the jobs. We need immigrants for that.
China's
Even Trump
beating
said
us
that.
because they use slavery labor,
Even
and they have
even Trump
no. They
said
have
that
no.
before. Trump said that
They
last week.
have.
Trump said we need them.
We need. We need what?
We need more immigrants to come back in because we're losing too many
I
workers.
think. I think legal immigration, that their cultures align with us and their values align with us. People that come here, they speak English, they have skills that we're looking for, and that will add to the economy, and they can afford the economy. So I don't think we need to be taking in more poor people. I don't think that. I know that doesn't help because I promise you, you are wrong. It costs way more money for the illegal immigrants to come to this country than it benefits us. I'm
Do
talking
you
illegal
do you
immigration.
yeah, even illegal immigration is added into the numbers, but do you disagree with the numbers that they have like a lower crime rate than naturally born American citizens?
I
Even
don't
illegal
know.
immigrants?
I mean, I would look into that. I don't have a dog in the fight. Like, I don't get anything out of like proving whether. I'm sure a vast majority of them are decent people just trying to make a good life. But again, that's why I said you have to factor in like, okay, hey, you came here. I probably would too. Like, you came here illegally because like you wanted your family to be safe and prosper. But then again, like there are billions of desperately poor, not like Mexico. Mexico's poor. There are billions of desperately poor people in the world. How many of them should we take in? We're helping people that are poor. Why don't we help the people in Africa that are starving to death?
Well, we
We're
just cut all
getting.
of our we just cut all of our programs in Africa, and because of Trump's cuts, I think 1 million more kids per year is going to die in Africa. So yeah, we're killing them too. So it's okay.
We're
Thank you,
killing
Mr.
them.
Trump. Yeah, yeah. Look up the actual numbers on that. It's going to hurt our trade deals in Africa. It's going to help China expand their reach in Africa. And it's going to kill a bunch of kids. And also make diseases more prevalent and pandemics more likely. Trump is cutting all that. He's cutting veteran service. He's cutting a bunch of good shit because Trump is really cool. Elon Musk, thank you, Doge. Thank you for cutting the social security offices. That really helped me. Okay, just in general, if they wanted to expand immigration services right now, they're defunding immigration courts and cutting immigration judges. So the fact Trump wants to do this whole wartime law thing and violate due process when he's also like killing our capacity to do
There,
actual deportations is
due
really bad.
process, like the Maryland man, right? The Maryland man
Well, there's
who
like 15 people right now. I think there's 4 total that the Supreme Court is probably going to order for them to return. So there's a lot of people
let
that were sent without due
yeah.
process.
So the funny thing, that guy, the Brago, what is it, Brago Garcia or whatever, the Maryland man, right? They keep saying he's lived here illegally for 5 years. He was given a temporary stay on his illegal or on his status. A temporary stay. I'm sure you may know. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do.
Well,
I'm
he was
not
on a
being
yearly
tested.
working permit, so he was here working.
So
Every year he had to get it renewed.
he was given a stay, and a stay means you have to leave, not to your respective country, but you cannot stay in the United
No, no,
States.
he
So
was
that's
here
what it's.
legally after 2019 when he was prevented from going to El Salvador. He applied for a work permit, and every year he has to meet with DHS, and he kept applying for the work permit. He kept getting it every year. So he was here on a work permit at that point, like, and the point
Yeah,
that they took him to El Salvador.
he's a domestic abuser and a gang member. He's
No. Okay, so when we're talking about due process, okay, he has zero criminal record.
he
The
was
domestic
given
abuse.
due process. Due process is he was was given a temporary stay, which means that
in 2019, okay, get the
you're not going to
timeline
let me
right
talk.
there.
You're talking over
Because
me,
you're
so
saying
you're
wrong
never.
things. Okay, you're saying wrong
Is it a
things. You're
tactic of
saying
yours, or are
incorrect
you
things.
just impatient?
No,
Are
because
you
you're saying
impatient?
things that are wrong, and I do have people watching, but
No,
you're saying things that are incorrect about the case.
no.
He was on a
Well,
work
if you
permit, right?
let
Do you
me
disagree with
finish
that?
my thought, I will give you 4 minutes to rip me apart if you just let me finish. A temporary stay, due process, right? When you're given a temporary stay, the process of a temporary stay, at any given minute, that can be immediately taken away, and you can be sent back to either your respective country or just asked to leave this country. So due process at any moment, the only thing they did was they revoked his temporary stay, and they said you have to leave immediately. That is due process. He was seen by courts, immigration judges, given a temporary stay, and then we said, okay, we're not abiding by that temporary stay. You have to leave immediately. He was deported back to his respective country. If he was brought back by the Supreme Court to this country, he can then be immediately deported again. So that would be the most due process he could legally get right now. If I'm wrong about that, I will PayPal you $4,000.
I'm sorry, but do you know that the court in 2019 made it illegal to send him to El Salvador under any circumstance?
Because he was given a temporary stay.
No, so it was
repeating.
still okay up to the point of him being sent there. It was still illegal to send him to El Salvador based on the 2019 court
Yeah,
ruling.
they said he had to leave, but not to that country. So you're given a temporary stay. That means you have to leave,
wait, you
but
said I could
not
talk.
to
You said
that
I could talk.
country.
Hey, you realize you're interrupting me. We're sharing a conversation here. You commented on me doing it. I'll just say like, okay, he was here on a yearly work permit. Okay, every year he met with a DHS, got it renewed. Okay,
While
when they
beating
took
his
him.
wife and getting arrested for it.
Okay. When you say things like that, you're very anti-American. You're very pro-trusting whatever the government says and any allegations that anyone says ever. That is the opposite of due process. If you want to throw in he beat his wife, I don't care.
His wife said he beat that.
Do you know that
was scared for her life.
her wife his wife right now is in a safe house because the Trump White House leaked her address. She had to flee from her house, and you keep interrupting me because you know you're wrong on this. Do you disagree that he was on a yearly work permit?
It literally doesn't matter because he was given a temporary
It does matter.
stay, which
Okay.
can be revoked.
Can you answer my question? Can you answer my question? Can you answer my question?
A temporary stay
Answer,
can
okay,
be revoked
buddy.
at any time,
You
and
seem
that is
you
due
gotta
process.
you gotta chill out here because okay. So he was on a yearly work permit. Do you agree with that?
I'm sorry, your soy boy mentality is getting to me.
See, this is what you do when you're wrong. You say soy boy
I'm not
because
wrong.
you're
A
running away from
temporary
this. You're running
stay
away. You're a pussy. You're running away. Stop being a little bit. Okay, don't run away. Don't run away. Yeah, don't backtrack on me. You're gonna tear your hammy or something, bro. Okay, chill out for a second. So he's on a yearly working permit. Okay, so a deportation that is different from going to CCOT, from going to a torture prison. In El Salvador, where you don't leave until you die, and there's no windows or anything, you work in a slave camp.
He's an MS-13 gang member.
There was no proof of him being a gang member. There was no.
He
if there
has
was due process, the
MS-13 gang
government would need
tattoos
to.
on his knuckles. He
Okay,
met with the
buddy,
Democratic
you know how
senators
much of a little
in the
baby you sound like
pictures.
right now? You keep on interrupting me because you know you're wrong about this shit. You're anti-American.
I'm a
You're
little baby.
pro-authoritarian.
I'm a little baby.
Because you trust whatever the government says, and that's pathetic. You should not trust the government this much. You're such a cuck to the government. You got to chill out for a second. Okay, you got to stop cucking out to the government. You can't just believe, oh, the president said you're a terrorist. Now you're a terrorist because I want to say so too. That's not American. That's
he has MS-13 gang tattoos on his knuckles. He met with a Democratic senator. Zoom in on the picture. Go to CNN.
Trump's DHS.
And go to the
okay,
interview.
no. I have independent thought, unlike you. So DHS in 2019.
You have independent thought. You have not said one thing
Trump's
against the Democratic Party the whole conversation.
We're talking about this specific case that you're wrong about. Okay, so the case in 2019. All right, there's zero proof at all given that he is a gang member in these cases, which is why he was not. That's why he was able to be on a work permit.
Does he have MS-13 gang tattoos on a CNN
That was not
interview?
verified. If you talk to experts, the tattoos that the Trump White House says he's part of a gang, if you talk to actual experts from Venezuela, that is not enough to qualify you as a gang member to send you to a torture camp. You should have an actual standard of evidence other than the government saying, we said so. And we need
So
to
if
have an
I had
actual
a
process,
swastika
so they
on my
can't rip out someone
forehead, the
random.
job could say, "Oh, he's not a white supremacist. He might just have a tattoo." And you're talking about
He did
cucks,
not have a
buddy.
swastika. He did not have a swastika
So
or
your
known MS-13 gang
testosterone is
tattoos.
probably
Okay, buddy,
dangerously low
you're
to
running
the
from it
point where
again. You're
your
running away.
bones are
You're running
brittle,
away.
dude.
You're
You
sprinting
have
away
no
from it. You're oh, you're getting
testosterone
mad. You're
in your
getting
body.
mad. Oh, you got to talk over me. You sound really sad. Stan,
I'm
why
not
are you so
mad.
mad?
You're
Please
literally
understand,
a
I do want you as a
pussy.
fan. I just
You're
don't want you
so
thinking
much
some
of a
crazy
fucking
shit.
pussy.
I saw some other stuff on the news and it made me sick. You know that song by Eminem? You're a stan. Okay, so this case right
I'm
now,
a
the Trump
stan.
White House.
You're a
You're a
fan,
stan.
dude.
You're
You
a
have
stan.
no.
Chill for a second. Okay, the Trump White House admit
Listen
this
to
was
your
done
voice,
illegally.
man. I'm
This was
from
done illegally.
Maryland.
Oh, you gotta
I'm
run
from
from it. You gotta
Maryland.
run
I'm a
from it.
little
Hey, when you look in the mirror
liberal.
tonight, remember that you know nothing. You're a dumbass. Remember that.
I'm
buddy.
gonna look at
Okay,
my
so
wife and
I'm
baby.
pro-America.
Where are you? Are you in your
Oh
mother's
yeah.
house?
Oh,
Be
I'll go
honest.
kiss my lady right after this, brother. Okay, so
Oh yeah,
listen.
your lady. You mean your trans boyfriend that
Oh,
wears
the
a wig,
dude.
dude?
You realize right now you're the epitome of the American male right now. You are giving masculinity a terrible name. If this is masculinity, you're running away from no one shit because you want to say insults. That's awesome, brother. You should keep on doing that shit. You're big and tough. I'm sure you look in the mirror.
Pussy.
I hope your father was involved because it sounds like he wasn't. Okay, so when we talk about these things, when we talk about these things, when we talk about these issues and the Constitution and due process, I don't trust the government to say you're a terrorist. You should be suffering the consequences of a terrorist. If they wanted to deport him, they could have deported him easily. They could expand immigration courts.
I like
say,
how you don't trust the government up until
listen. Oh,
baby
girl. They could have deported him to a third country other than El Salvador. They could have got him out of the country easily. They could have easily just deported him. And they admit they made a mistake illegally sending him to El Salvador, which is why the Supreme Court ruled 9-0 against Donald Trump multiple times, one on the basis of due process, two on the basis of facilitating his return. They ruled against Donald Trump for a reason because they did something that was anti-Constitution.
I know, the MS-13 white-beating gang members should have stayed here. You're right.
Your allegation should not be able to send someone to a death camp. Your allegation, your word should not be able to send someone to a death camp. That's not what America's founded on. If you want that standard, if you want that standard, move to El Salvador, move to China, move to Russia. You hate America, okay? And by the way, those accounts for 2019, you got to do some research, brother. You got to do some. Oh yeah, because I actually understand shit. I do work to understand shit. I do work to understand shit. Yeah, because I do work to understand shit.
You're a multiculturalist. You are a globalist. You are a soy boy.
Oh baby, those big words. You know all the big words now. Why don't you explain something in actual terms that you know shit about it? Because the 2019 allegations were based on a Chicago Bulls hat, was based on an allegation from an MS-13 gang in New York, which he never even lived in New York. The other allegation was from a cop. That was actually fired. The cop that alleged he was part of MS-13 based off of hearsay. He actually was fired for paying off a sex worker a week later.
Two immigration judges found that he has MS-13 gang member
Okay, the actual rulings. No. The immigration judges did not say that. And you are insulting the intelligence of yourself, brother. You can look this up. The judges never confirmed that at all.
Two immigration judges found that he has MS-13 ties. He has MS-13 gang member tattoos on his knuckles.
Because guess what? Even the ICE agents that made up shit about him did not include the knuckle tattoos in their hearing, and they would have done that because it would have been a slam dunk if it was.
A Democratic senator just met with him in the interview.
Wow, you're on Twitter. You do Twitter research. You're very smart, buddy.
I do not have social media.
Wow, you do Twitter research.
I do not have social media.
Wow, you saw it on Rumble then, or Facebook or something. Wow, you must have saw it on Fox News. Good job, brother. You saw all the
I don't watch Fox News.
I've never had Twitter. I don't care about the gay barber. I don't care about the professional soccer player. Maybe they did crimes, maybe they didn't. I care about American values. I care about due process. That's why even the Supreme Court, that's 6-3 in favor of conservatism right now, is ruling 9-0 against Donald Trump. Because you don't love America. You hate this damn country. You should stop trying to break it.
I love America.
You hate this country. You hate the Fifth Amendment. You hate the 14th Amendment. Yeah, you would literally be one of those dumbasses out there screaming America first. We got to get the Browns out of here. You are that guy.
Yeah, and you had the black Twitter thing you had the blackout picture on your Twitter. I would guarantee it.
I just recommend.
My values are tied to actual
race,
core beliefs and values.
Oh yes, multiculturalism, globalism. The money changers. How do you feel about Jewish people?
The window of the left moves so rapidly.
The Overton window of the left moves so rapidly? Oh yeah, what about your movement that's against a 9-0 Supreme Court ruling with a 6-3 conservative judge arguing against due process?
Now I thought I believed in the government institution. Sounds like you're a government institution.
Hey, buddy, do you know what due process is? What is due process?
Due process is a guy being seen by immigration court judges.
No.
who
What is due
both
process?
said
No.
he's
Okay, explain
MS-13.
explain what is due process. What is due
Explain
process?
how two
Tell me
court
what due
judges
process
found
is.
he's MS-13.
No.
He has
Okay,
MS-13
they did
gang
not see
tattoos,
he was.
and
They
you're
did not say he
saying
was MS-13. That never happened.
yes,
That
they
never
did.
happened. No.
Yes,
The
did.
judges
It's
never said that because the
factual.
Trump
Court
admin would actually
record.
be giving evidence of that. They never said that. Okay, they never said that. The judges never confirmed that. Actually, they said the evidence was not substantial enough to
So
confirm
he
anything
doesn't
about
have
gang ties.
MS-13 gang
That's why he was able to
tattoos.
get a
You
work
can't say
permit. That's why the Trump
everybody
DOJ in
look
2019,
up
the Trump
Abrego
admin,
Garcia
the
gang
Trump admin.
tattoos and just
You can look up
it
the tattoos or you can look up the actual facts. So in 2019, when we talk about what the Trump admin decided, the Trump admin, you're saying the Trump admin knew he had MS-13 gang tattoos and let him stay? The Trump admin did? In 2019?
So two immigration court judges before Trump
Yeah,
was
Trump's
recently in
judges.
office
Trump's judges in 2019. Trump was president in 2019, 2020. Why
found
did they
that
let?
he
Why did they let
had
him stay?
MS-13
Wait,
gang
no,
affiliation.
hey, crybaby,
and he
crybaby.
has
Why did Trump let them
tattoos on
stay?
his
Wait,
knuckles.
no. If he had those tattoos, why did Trump let them stay in 2019, 2020? Why did he let them stay?
It doesn't. It literally.
Oh,
it
you can't
doesn't
answer that
matter.
question, huh, little baby? Oh, baby, you gotta work on this shit, bro. That's sad.
Really?
It doesn't matter. You say it doesn't matter.
Can we meet up and talk about it in person?
Yeah, we gotta meet up, dude. I'm not gay like you. Holy shit, I'm not trying to get that close to you. What are you talking about? Holy shit, get
Are you
away
gay
from me.
If you stand
Oh my
next to a man,
god,
you're gay.
you are. If
What's
you want
wrong
to meet
with
up
gay
in
people?
person, if you want to meet up in
What's
person,
wrong
I love
with
gay
What's
people.
wrong
Not
with
you
gay
though.
people?
I love gay.
I
I love
know
Pete
you love
Hegseth.
gay people.
I love Pete Hegseth.
You love when they come in you.
I love Pete Hegseth, brother. Pretty Pete Hegseth, a little powdered face and his proud boy. I love Pete
He is
Hegseth,
cute.
brother.
He is cute.
Yeah, I know you because you are a gay man, and I'm proud of you because you are
What's
closeted.
wrong
And
with that?
I hope you get
I
out.
am gay.
Because most
I'm
nationalists
gay,
are gay.
so who
I'm
cares?
proud of you. Yeah, I hope your wife finds out. But anyways, you lost
I'm gay. I'm
this
happy.
conversation
I'm old
terribly.
school gay,
You
not
lost
new
this
school
conversation
gay.
terribly. I hope you work in the morning. I know you have work in the morning. I hope you do well tomorrow. I hope you have a good day tomorrow. I hope you have a good coffee in the morning if you drink coffee. But yeah, you should.
Hey, I hope you
stop,
watch your girlfriend have come on her breast from another guy. You're a faggot.
You guys are
sore boy.
weird.
You have
You
no
guys are
idea what you're
weird,
talking
brother.
about. You were wrong
Keep
about
on saying
everything.
it. Keep saying the words, brother.
You're just
yeah,
dumb.
keep on
You're
making
dumb.
shit up.
You have no
making
facts.
shit up. Oh yeah, you don't know. Wait, what is due process?
Have fun. You're
What
gay.
is the purpose of due process?
Go fuck yourself.
What is the purpose? It's
your
a limit on
girlfriend
government
is
power,
cheating
right?
on you.
So
You
due
live at home
process.
with your mother. Where do you live?
Yes, I
Maryland.
do.
Let's leak this guy's address.
Yeah,
Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
You are so cool. Ah, dude, that's how you dominate a conversation. That is crazy. That's a good one. I like that one a lot, bro. He so thoroughly lost that conversation. He had to say when I brought up the Trump thing, he's like, "That doesn't even matter, bro." The first one to say "soy boy globalist." That's a good one. All right. Someone wanted to talk about Doge, I think. Yeah, someone said Doge. Also, the answer I wanted was so due process is not even a person's right, which it is someone's right for due process. But due process is more so a limit on government power. It's a limit on the government, so the government can't just accuse you of being a terrorist. They can't just say you have a skull tattoo, therefore you're a gang member. And now they can use wartime law to ship you off to like a dungeon somewhere, okay, or execute you. Due process is a limit on government power, which is why it's in our Declaration of Independence, which is why our founding fathers focused on the Fifth Amendment so much. It's a limit on government power. They cannot just do things to you without evidence, without a process, without a chance to present yourself in court with representation of some kind. It's a limit on government power. So if you're saying we should bypass government power to expand our ability to do your dumb like ego trip, whatever policies you want. And by the way, that guy was saying that stuff was with his baby in his hands. He's holding his baby saying that stuff. That's some crazy. That's some devil work right there. But yeah, it's a limit on government power. So if someone says we should betray due process, if we should give government more power because you don't want to do shit the right way, or if you want to do illegal shit and be an authoritarian, they're anti-American. Due process is probably the most important part of any free society. But yeah, if you're, yeah. All right, let me see real quick. Oh, please drop a like. Yeah, like the Patriot Act. Or WMDs, right? WMDs are... Okay, I'm gonna do halftime on the stream really quick. I need like a 10-second break. Please drop a like. Due process is a right of citizens. Nope, it's for all people in the U.S. It's for all persons in the U.S. That's why the founding fathers wrote it as they did and gave the reasoning they did. It would not make any sense for a tourist, for example, to not have due process. That's what happens in Russia and China and other authoritarian countries. If you're a tourist in America, we cannot just use our government and accuse someone of a crime and execute them. Okay, there's due process for them too. There's a lot of Supreme Court reinforcement for this. The current Supreme Court reinforced it 9-0. It's a basic American principle that you disagree with. So, sorry, buddy. Sorry, you're anti-America. Okay, I'm gonna reset this YouTube Shorts stream. On my channel, I have a YouTube Shorts and I have a regular sized stream. So please drop a like and subscribe. Please, if you want to donate, please donate to Jolah Politics, JOLAHPOLITICS on PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App if you want to donate, or you can donate on Coffee for text to speech. On my channel, I have 2 streams running. I have a YouTube Shorts stream and I have a regular horizontal. Like I said, I'm gonna reset the YouTube Shorts and direct you towards my other stream as well. Yeah, I'm gonna send you to the horizontal one, at the regular sized one. Wait, is this the other one I have running? Oh, yeah, I guess so.